probably Milky Way galaxy. So today I'm going to focus on a few things. Some of the first few things are going to be lighthearted, and then I'm going to get into the heavy stuff because I have to speak my mind. And before I speak my mind on that, I want to have a disclaimer. I understand that I'm a white man, and I have no idea what. I have probably no right to talk about the heavy topic that I'm about to talk about for today's vlog. But I'm still going to speak my mind, and people are probably going to disagree with me, and it's okay to be controversial from time to time, and it's okay to be, it's okay to have your own opinion, but in my opinion, may be wrong, and things like that. But that's just the start of it. So, the plan for today, these are the lighthearted things, is to go see the Black Phone film with Ethan Hawke at some point today. I'm not going to say what time, but but the plan is to go see that movie today. And it's only an hour and 45-minute film, so it's not like it's a super long film, so I'll probably be done like an hour and 45 minutes after I go and see it. And then I got 4 movies from the store yesterday that I want to show you. I've only seen one of these films. Now, I've heard about all of these films, by the way, and I thought I should get these because I want to watch them all. And each one has its own greatness to it. Whether it's the comedy, whether it's the drama, whether it's the romance one, whatever you want to call it. So let's just get into it. So we've got Argo. This is it. This is the movie, and this movie is an hour and 20 minutes, or not hour and 20 minutes, 120 minutes. So it's almost 2 hours long. Or let's see. Yeah, it's probably 2 hours long. Then we've got Ted. Now this is the movie I've seen. It's got Mark Wahlberg and Seth MacFarlane in it, and it's about a bear and his best friend, and Mila Kunis appears in it. I've seen this one. I've also seen Ted 2 as well. Now these other two I have not seen, and the Argo film I have not seen yet. So this one is called is Vicky Cristina Barcelona. It's got Penelope Cruz, it's got Scarlett Johansson, it's got Javier Bardem, and a few others that you may recognize, like Patricia Clarkson, Kevin Dunn, don't know who that is, Rebecca Hall, I've heard of her, and Chris Messina. Then we've got Whatever It Takes, which is what I'm showing you now. It's got Shane West, Marla Sokoloff, Jodie Lynn O'Keefe, and James Franco. I know who James Franco is, and I do believe I know both Marla. I've seen Marla and Jodie's films, a couple of their films before. Now, let's get into the heavy stuff. So yesterday, I'm sad. I'm extremely saddened. I'm angry, I'm confused, I'm disappointed with the Supreme Court of the United States. Because yesterday they did something that was not only wrong, it was extremely wrong. It was so wrong that I don't think the Supreme Court will ever come back from what they did yesterday. Now, this isn't right. And human rights should be accepted in all shapes, forms, shapes, and whatever you want to call it. But when they said that Wade versus Roe is no longer, it was struck down, it angered me. Women's rights shouldn't be diminished after 50 years of this Roe versus Wade. They had no right to put a ban on an abortion. And I mentioned this about a month ago. That they were thinking about striking this down about a month ago, and I talked about this a month ago, or maybe it was a couple months ago. It just makes absolutely no sense to take away something that is a woman's right to choose for herself. If something bad when something bad happens to a woman, they can't get an abortion now because they struck down this Roe versus Wade court thing. It makes absolutely no sense to me that we're going backwards in everything in the government and the Supreme Court. Everything is going backwards. It's just it baffles me that the Supreme Court is making decisions on women's bodies, which they shouldn't have that at all. It should be up to women who want to get the abortion, and not having the Supreme Court and politicians telling women what they should and shouldn't do with their bodies. What happens when, and I know this is very sensitive topic, what happens when a woman gets raped? What happens when a woman has an incestual baby? What happens when they don't want the baby because they can't afford to pay for that baby? You're taking away their rights. You're taking away women's rights to choose for themselves when something bad happens to them. And it's wrong. And they shouldn't have to do abortions illegally. It makes absolutely no sense what the Supreme Court how their decision was made. And I don't understand it. And every single post that I saw yesterday, every single post that I saw from a woman or from someone who supports women's rights, they are infuriated. They are frustrated that this happened. It feels like we're going back to the late 1950s and the 1960s when they didn't allow abortions. It's so frustrating to see where the United States has come and is where it's going. They have the right to decide what they want to do with their bodies. Women do. And when something bad happens to them, and when I mean bad, I'm talking about rape or incestual pregnancy, which is very bad. They can't get an abortion legally anymore, or they're not going to be allowed to do that legally anymore. They have to do it. They're going to have to do it illegally now, and it just makes absolutely no sense to me why they did this, and I'm just shocked. I'm baffled. I'm just frustrated. I'm upset. I'm saddened. I mean, it feels like we're going back to a period before when women's rights were, not women's rights. It's just, women's rights are human rights. They should be able to decide for themselves if they want to have the baby or not, or when, or should they have the baby or not. And yet, this thing that happened yesterday, they're not allowing women to do that anymore. And I don't know what else to say. It makes absolutely no freaking sense why they did this. And I've said this so many times on this channel. I support women in whatever they want to do with their lives. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm trying to explain to you guys, and yet you constantly think that I'm trying to be this person I'm not. Women's rights, whether it's their choice to get an abortion or not, is their right, not the government's, not the Supreme Court's, not anyone else. And yet the Supreme Court made that decision, and now they're screwed, basically. And it's just, it makes it it baffles me. It makes me speechless that we have to live in a world where, the Supreme Court has to make every decision now. It's not their decision to make this. It's the women's decision, and when she wants to get an abortion, she should get an abortion. When something bad happens to her, or if she can't support a child, or something along those lines, she should be able to have the right to make that decision for herself and not have someone else make it for her. I don't know what else to say. It's just it's ridiculous how we're going back to a period in time where they had no rights and they had no way of getting an abortion, or they had no way of voting or whatever it may be. We're going back to that time in history. And it's saddening. It's ridiculous. I am pissed. I'm beyond pissed off. I'm beyond saddened. I'm beyond frustrated with what the Supreme Court did yesterday. And I don't know what's going to be next. Let me put it this way. This is a power grab. That's what it is. And it doesn't just stop at banning abortions. It's going to go far beyond that, and we're just gonna have to, and we're not gonna stand for it, and women aren't gonna stand for it. They're having their rights impeded on by the Supreme Court. They're having their rights impeded on by politicians. It's so frustrating, and I'm gonna end it before I get any more heated in this vlog. So we have one birthday to wish today, and I want to wish Lele Pons a happy birthday today. And we have I Talk About tomorrow, and we have like 3 birthdays tomorrow to wish, or 4 birthdays tomorrow to wish, so bear with me on that. And I want to give a shout out to Johnny Hayes for being a Patreon of mine for another month. So thank you for being a patron of mine for another month on Patreon. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.